everyone, it's Tani Games here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with a video going over some secret little changes that have happened this update that weren't mentioned in the patch notes, the trailers, things like that. So literally secret updates, things they haven't discussed or showcased. So I'm very excited to get into it and kind of show you what I found. Now some of it I do have to give credit for. Some people sent in Discord a link to a Reddit post. So there has been information from the community, things people talked about in Discord that I am using in here, as well as some of my own findings too. So it's kind of a mix of some of the suggestions from you guys in my Discord, in the community, and also things I found out myself. Now, if you uncover any other secrets as well that I don't mention or don't talk about in this video, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I would love to find out. But let's start with the first big major overhaul and change, and it relates to the two houses you see behind me from Moana and Maui. So if I come over here into Moana's house, you will see Moana's house has had a massive upgrade. If I can, I will try to insert a picture of Moana's house previously. I'm going to have to go through some of my previous footage to see if I've got any clips of it. If not, I might have to see if I can pull an image from Google. But you can see here there's so much floral detail. I do believe there's more artwork on the walls than there was previously. Yeah, these floral elements are fantastic. I think they've readjusted how some of these mats were placed in this room, and I can't recall if this canopied couch was here before. I don't think it was, but this is definitely a massive overhaul. It looks so much better. Yeah, it's a massive upgrade, to be honest. I did go around and check the other villager homes. Apart from this one in Maui's, which we're going to get to in a second, I can't see any other changes with the other homes. They all look pretty similar to me, but if there's a villager home that I have missed, feel free to leave it in the comments down below.
Hey, look who's here!
And now coming into Maui's house, look at this, what an upgrade. Look, there's like kind of like window ceiling elements. I don't know how to describe it. I can't even show you the one on the ceiling. It's like impossible. Oh, there we go. That's a bit better in the photo mode. But you can see we've got all these gaps kind of thing looking out to the surrounding areas. We've got a bit more decor here. Things like that. So it really has had a massive overhaul, and it's a lot more fitting and in keeping with the characters. So I think it's a massive change and a real big upgrade, and I'm so glad that they did that, because it's about time they did some changes to these houses, because they were quite bland and boring before. Now the next change I want to talk about is relating to this Bookish book bag. Now, I don't know if many of you recall, this bag is from part of the Storybook Vale DLC, and when it came in, it had such a horrendous gap between the shoulders and the straps. Now, there is still a little bit of a gap, I will admit that, but it is a lot better than before, so it certainly makes it more useful for wearing. If you've got something like a coat on, it does look a lot better. See, look at this. With this brown coat, this looks perfect. Now, I think this is meant to be sort of inspired by, hold on, I need to go into costumes. The Keeper of the Law outfits. And if you wear the Keeper of the Law outfits, you can see actually now, you can't see the straps at all. So I can see now, after seeing this change, I can see the struggle that the developers had, because now they've shortened the straps and now there's no visible strap when you wear it with these outfits. So, as I said, it didn't come with these outfits, but you can see the influence. You can see how they're not a set, but they're just like, they work well together. Um, so you can see that. You can't see the straps anymore, but it does make it better when you're wearing certain other outfits. It does actually work with them. It doesn't look like a gigantic gap. It's literally just if you have like kind of bare shoulders, then you can see it, but it's significantly improved. I think it's a brilliant change that they put in place. So now that this bag actually feels usable as a general accessory. And now I'm stood outside of Scrooge's shop for this one. This change will help people who do reset their Scrooge stores in the morning. If we come into our settings menu here, you'll be able to see about the save game, the auto save. So I'm going to click save game. And it says last save now. And what it was set at previously was, I think the original autosave was 5 minutes. They cut it down to 1 minute, which was way too short. I think a lot of people were happy about it because of the crashes, but if you do reset your store, it made it a lot more trickier. If you're someone who did sort of duplicate items and things like that, again, it made it trickier. So there were a lot of issues with the 1 minute autosave, and now it's changed to 7 minutes. Now I will let this run so you can see, but obviously I'll speed it up, or I'll cut it so that you can see it going to the autosave at 7 minutes. But yeah, it is now updated, it is now changed. We have a different auto saving time, so it should make, for those of us who do reset our stores to get certain items, it should make it a lot easier. Well, there you have it. That is the autosave now changed. So, as I said, this does help people who reset their stores looking for new Scrooge items, people who are dropping off items to friends or whatever it may be. Yeah, this helps in a lot of ways. I am glad that they've changed it. I do wonder if 7 minutes is too long. I'm surprised it isn't 5 minutes. I thought 5 minutes was a good ground kind of thing. But maybe there's a reason for this. I'm not too, like I said, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, it's neither here nor there. But it is just interesting either way to kind of see that this autosave feature has been changed. I am appreciative that it is more than 1 minute though. And next up, I am in Tiana's for a few different things. So the first one being here, when you go to a stove and you start to cook, the first thing you're going to see is this recipes page. But there is a way to change this up. If you come into the settings and then come under gameplay, we do have a lot of different like things here that you can change, which have been introduced over time. Two of the new things are to hide the favorite gift markers, so if you don't want to see the favorite gifts, you can get rid of that. But there's also start cooking with ingredients. So if I turn this on and now interact with the stove, this is what we see, is the sort of ingredients menu over getting this menu. So depending on what you prefer, if you prefer to kind of like manually drop in items, you may want to change up how this works effectively, whether you start with the recipes on or not. Now I personally think the recipes is going to be helpful, so I am going to change that back because I actually quite like this menu in terms of needing it for restaurant orders and things like that. This is such a massive update and I'm so happy about it. I think it's absolutely incredible, to be honest. I'm really happy about it. I think it, being able to mark things as favorites, being able to look at the restaurant, it's all just such a game changer. So either way, I'm super excited about it. Now the next change as well that I want to point out is to do with the actual cooking itself. Now if I click autofill, the actual dropping of the ingredients is a lot slower than what it was before. I'd have to get out some kind of like stopwatch to time it, but the dropping in of the ingredients is slower nowadays as well. So it's just kind of interesting that it just is that little bit slower. I don't know why it is. It's just a little bit slower. It's not a big deal, but if you were cooking a lot of ingredients in a row, especially for people, for instance, who spam cook things for memory orbs, people who cook like the pumpkin platters, things like that for the money, this is going to really, really slow you down over time. Like I said, the general everyday kind of, oh, I have to cook a recipe for the star path, it's not a big deal, but I imagine if you're bulk making anything, it will feel a lot slower. So that's a couple of cooking changes that I have noticed. Now the next updated feature or change is related to the floating islands. Now I did put this in my floating island video, but if you haven't watched it, when you are in the furniture mode, there is now a button here which says reset floating island. Now for me, it's the shift key and you do have to hold it down. So when you have the floating island set up, you'll see I've got a range of different items. I've got dropped items, you know, I've got a flower, I've got dreamlight, I've got a twig. I've got storage chests with items in them. I've also got some furniture pieces here, the castle and things like that. So yeah, a few different items that I've got out here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to click reset floating island. So you can see here everything that has removed. So any dropped items get picked up. Any furniture has been picked up. The only thing that's not been removed is the crops themselves. They are still available and accessible. They don't get removed. Now, if you accidentally click this, you can hit undo and it will restore everything. You'll see it even got rid of the path there. So obviously if you don't want to get rid of something, you know, you have got that button there just in case. Just as a little heads up of a change that you have. And you'll see here, I should have shown you my inventory before, but you'll see here, here's the yellow daisy, here's the dream shards, here's the dry wood that I dropped, and then in terms of the storage chests, they'll all be back in my storage tab here, you can see. So yeah, that's a new feature to the floating islands. As an update in regards to the floating islands, because we now have water, if we use the water-based accessories... Okay, so I've just brought out the Oasis item here. You can see we can now place these items. We can also place the water-based items that would go in them. So for those of you that aren't aware, previously you couldn't put these items down because of the fact that they had the limitations, but now you can. And just in case anyone's curious, you can see here I'm on the Plaza Island here. You can also put it on the Plaza Islands. So it's not just limited to the islands where you can actually place the water down. It is any of the floating islands. You can now place these pond items and utilize some of the water items that you previously couldn't before. Now, the next change that I noticed was actually when I was submitting photos and things like that and went into photo mode. If you come into photo mode here, there is a new tab button here, which I noticed above the hiding of the touch of magic. And it's actually a hide snippets button. You'll see here on the left hand side of the screen, it says N hide snippet. So I would press the N key, or I could press this toggle here, and you'll see here with this snippet, it just disappears. So if you're taking photos in storybook veil and you don't want the snippet showing up in your image, you can just click this button here, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I love that they've added this changing because I think it will be helpful. I think sometimes you don't want a snippet showing up in your photo, so I do love that they have included that as an option. You know, you don't have to use it, but you can do, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm really glad that they've added in this change. Now, the final change that I've noticed is actually the sounds of the storage when you interact with them. So I am going to be very, very quiet here and just interact with a few of the storage pieces, and you can just listen to the audio. Okay, so hopefully you heard that clear enough. But basically, I don't know if you noticed, but the fridge makes a clinking sound, like as if things are rattling in the door. The Scrooge chest, that makes kind of like a safe sound, which was a very, very fun addition. And I feel like the two chests sound kind of different. But yeah, either way, it's kind of a cool little feature. It feels like it sort of improves that realism within the game, which I think is just a lot of fun, and I do love that they included it as a feature. But there you have it. That's all the secret hidden changes that I noticed this update. Were there any other secret changes that you spotted? Let me know in the comments down below. I love finding little hidden details in each update, the different things that they do change. I think it's fun and it's always a very, very nice surprise to see. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you spotted anything else. If you didn't know any of these, make sure to give the video a like. It also helps me out as a smaller content creator. And please subscribe to the channel for more Disney Dreamlight Valley content. Thank you to all my channel members. I really, really appreciate your support. And to all my subscribers, thank you very much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys!